what's your idea of industrialization? You've talked about the need. I mean, you've talked about everywhere you've been. Looks like the same thing being talked about, jobs. And so for you, you see that a way of dealing with that would be industrialization. What's your idea of industrialization?
My idea of industrialization is simply making sure that you refine, you manufacture, you produce around it so you can open the doors for cross-border trade movements in terms of importation. Now, China is doing it, India is doing it, America is doing it, Europe is doing it. Everybody and every country that is successful in the world, you have to make sure that your resources are refined, are manufactured, they are packaged to that level of business where you can trade them so other countries' monies can come into your country. Other people can start to bring their money constantly into your country. And that is how that's how economy revolves and evolves. It grows that way. Besides that, what you're going to see is that you would be able to create hundreds of thousands of jobs, and these jobs are not like 1-year contracts, because when you talk about plants, they can work for 50 years non-stop, 24 hours. Okay, all you need is to feed it with energy. So when you look at Africa is the last continent on this planet Earth that doesn't have any clue about industrialization. We always go for the tertiary parts. Okay, our clothes come from somewhere. When it's done, we might do the cotton, but we will not be the one doing the textiles and the clothes. Okay, we might plant the cocoa, but we will not be the one doing the chocolate, the marks and the twists, but yet we buy it again. And the people of this country, I took this moment to explain the vision that I have to expand transportation and logistics. My vision, it's just industrialization. How to industrialize the entire country. The 16 regions of this country needs to be industrialized to pump and boost our existence.
But this is the other point of it. We talked about one district, one factory. We've been talking about industrialization in Ghana for God knows how long. For those who even manufacture in this country, they complain about how it's very expensive to produce, and thus would have to sell to people very high prices, and so in effect they are not competitive. How are you going to make the Ghanaian producer, manufacturer, industrialist competitive globally?
Well, the first thing about industrialization is tariffs. The tariffs of the kilowatts that the machines are struck. Doing so, we definitely need to think about the logistics. Kumasi is a very well situated region with a lot of resources in minerals and farming and many other things. And I thought that since it's connected to the eastern and the western corridor, the coal, different things all coming together and helping to push that industrial power, because it needs energy. And energy is the beginning of development. As soon as we found light in this world by Thomas Edison and J.P. Morgan, okay, everyone's eye lit up, it opened. The likes of Rockefeller, Andrew Carnegie, Tony Blair, there was his name, Henry Ford, all of these people, they started to industrialize their product. At that time, Rockefeller had found oil, but they could only produce kerosene, for light, for flames. But as soon as we found energy as AC, they started moving forward with it. The industry was growing, and we are not taking this serious. I mean, we are selling to our people about 15 to 17 tariff, 17 cents a kilowatt. Because nobody's going to come to your country to industrialize. But we have gas that we're flaring some. We don't want to build the gas pipelines. We don't want to
build the gas pipelines.
Oh, please, you don't call that. Go to Dubai, go to Abu Dhabi. They have 1,500 kilometers of multiple gas pipelines. When people turn on their taps, when people turn on their computer, their internet, everything, they are the main force and the gas supply to Dubai. So every time people turn on things in Dubai, they get some residual income, and that is a huge industrial construction. This mentality is what Africans need to adapt and stop depending on the Western world. That's the point I'm trying to make. We depending on the Western world and taking our money and going to China and America and going to buy their things that they came to take from us and come back and resell it in our country. I'm sorry, it does not make sense. Until Africans decide of learning how to industrialize their own product, I'm sorry, we will be enslaved, forever enslaved by the Western. It doesn't matter whoever you're taking those products from, whoever you're going to for help, that person will forever use you. I don't know if you know about people borrowing money from bank. They become like a slave to the bank. When they tell them do this, they do it. Sit down, they sit down. Don't do this thing. So if we want to have that habit of going out there and keep borrowing money and saying that we're going to build our economy with it and create jobs with borrowed money, please.
You're not going to borrow money?
But I'm not saying that you're not going to borrow money. You have
Where are you going to get the money
You have
from?
to have a purpose. First of all, I think you need to create wealth and stop thinking that you borrowing money is what is going to...
How do you create...